Hi, my name is Jay, and I'm interviewing David Alter and Ryan Clausen about raves. This is David Alter, and this is Ryan Clausen. Alright, first I have some questions for you. The first one would, what is your definition of a rave?
My definition of a rave is a party, an event where there usually isn't alcohol and it's an all ages event, and there's DJs as opposed to live bands playing dance music, and there's lights, that move around, and most of the time they last all night long, and it's just kind of like a party.
What your definition of a rave, Ryan?
Well, I think of it as like this futuristic ritual that we have. The Indians used to have these spiritual rituals back a long time ago where they dance for a long period of time. So it's kind of like
Dance around a fire.
mine's a spiritual ritual, or I dance for a long period of time all night. It's just like this futuristic ritual I think we have now.
Okay, what is Superstars of Love?
That is our promotion company name.
Like, we present this event.
Yeah, every promoter, there's promoters in the scene, and they have their promotion company name. Like there's Vibronaut, there might be this company called Pure, ours is Superstars of Love. Every person that does these events have their promotion name for their company. So Superstars of Love seems like a good name,
It was basically just the name that me and Ryan and a couple of our friends chose as like our group. Kind of like a band chooses a name.
About how many raves have you thrown?
Well, we do big parties and small parties, small club events. Probably in the last 3 years, over 30, 35.
Yeah.
But with club nights and everything, you could be up to 100. But just about 35, just one-off events.
I was involved in underground dance culture, throwing parties and after-hours little loft parties at people's houses or wherever, like before raves. I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice.
Okay, so is it true that you both owned a club?
Yeah, that was Quasar. This is a flyer for the club that we had. We had a UFO DJ booth, so the DJs would get up and spin the records inside of a UFO that we built. So it's kind of neat.
How much is the average cost of a rave or a club to get into?
Well, the raves and clubs are a completely different thing. To do a good club, you got to spend, at least, $100,000 to $150,000 to make it work right and do it right. And just any average rave is about $20,000 you spend. But you can. But we did a New Year's event, and this one was about $45,000 that we did.
See, these are the flyers, which cost about, I would say, if you want 20,000 flyers to get 2,000 people at your party, you'd spend about $2,000 on 20,000 flyers. And this lists all the DJs and all the stuff. This is for the New Year's party this year that we're doing. So promotion is going to cost you a couple $1,000s, and then the talent, like the DJs, we got someone coming from Canada, so we need to fly the talent. So we need to buy plane tickets, pay them like $1,000 to come. Pay a DJ like $500. So, and get a hotel room for the people while they stay in town.
There's insurance, everything just.
You got to get a sound system, that's $1,000. You got to get lights, that's $1,000.
It adds up.
That's why when you get 1,000 people paying $15 to get into a party, and you bring in $15,000, you might have spent close to that on the party itself. So you got to really budget what you're doing.
How much time and effort does it take to throw and put a rave?
You wouldn't think it takes a lot more than you really think. You gotta do the event concept, the theme. You gotta book all the talent. Then you have to have a space location. You gotta work with City Hall, getting the right permits. One event could take, you almost can't even have a second job sometimes if you want to do it right.
There's a lot of responsibility, because when you throw an event with 1,000 people, you can't just be there having a good time. You got to be responsible for paying DJs, making sure that the sound's going right. You got to be in charge of a staff. So really, we've learned a lot over the course of the many years. And I'm losing my voice because we were out in Columbia, Missouri last night, like promoting, for our upcoming New Year's party. So, I mean, it does take a lot of time and a lot of effort.
The trick is like I've learned is to work with more people that are good instead of just taking it all on yourself. Just me and him doing. We used to do all of it, just me and him, but now we work with other production companies. So it makes it just less work. But you still do about the same amount of work, but it's actually more work put into the event.
About how many people go to an average rave?
Well, it all depends on the city. In St. Louis, it's actually the scene's really small. On average, one here will be 1,000 people. If it's promoted really good, it can be 1,500 to 2,000 people. But you go to places where it's much more accepted. Like we went to this event in Chicago last weekend, and there was like 3,000 people there. And that's like an average party there. We went to this big event at the end of the summer in Florida called Zen in Orlando, and there was like 20,000 people there. So it all depends on what part of the country or the world you're in.
But here in the middle of America, you just got to do things on the scale, of where you are.
So what's the cost to get into a small party and get into a big party?
Well, small parties can be anywhere from like $5, $10. They're just small parties. But the average price of a party now is like $20. It seems like, and if you're in a bigger city, then it can be like $25.
Is there an age limit to get in there?
Usually not. Usually there's no age limit because there's no alcohol
but it's getting
at most of the events.
The events used to be a lot more underground, and you just kind of went ahead and did it. But now, people have to like follow the rules so much that they all night. So there's curfew laws. So a lot of the events now are becoming 18 and over. Like more than half of them or more. It's pretty soon it'll be probably all of them will be like 18 and over.
When we first started doing raves, we would just go find a warehouse, and we'd go to the owner of the warehouse. We'd be like, hey, we're going to rent your place for the night, and pretty much anyone could come of any age. It really wouldn't matter, and it was much more open. But now you need a legal venue with fire exits, and you got to get all the permits secured. Because back in the day, you could get away with like just doing things, throwing a party in a warehouse.
But
nowadays, if you throw a party, you got to do it like legally, in the right location, and you really should have just like, the proper age limit.
What ages do people usually go from?
Well, average age is like anywhere from 16 to like 30. But I mean, the average age I'd say is like people around 21 is like seems about the average age of people. But I mean, you get older people in their 30s, 40s even. I mean, I've even seen people like in their 60s there. But
when we had the club, the majority of people that came to the club were anywhere from like 18 to 25. That's like the majority. But then there's people younger. There's people.
What time do parties start and end
Well, I never really seen a good party going really good until usually about midnight, and then they'll go to about usually really good to about 6 in the morning.
at? Why so late?
I don't know. I think it's just the fact that you're
raves are all night long parties.
They're just all night.
So if you go there at 9, 10 o'clock, I mean, some start at like 9, 10 o'clock, but if you're gonna be dancing all night, it's always good to get there, around 11 or 12.
I think there's just a matter of too of just it being those hours when most people usually aren't up that keeps certain interesting element to it.
I heard you both are DJs, and you spin together. Is that true?
Yeah.
Why together?
Well, I mean, over the course of throwing parties and booking DJs, we've collected our own crazy record collection, and we're not like serious like spinning techno and house like most of the rave DJs. We like playing like lots of funny, kind of interesting experimental stuff.
Lots of disco.
And we just DJ for the fun of it, really, just at certain
See, a lot of
parties.
these DJs, the music's really serious. At these parties, these DJs play. It's like, music you'll never, understand all night. Especially if you're coming there new. It's just like one big long song. It's just crazy. And then when we get up there and spin, we're the only DJs that have like the guts to like play like rock and roll songs at a party, play Celebration by Kool and the Gang, and people
like
just start
throw in some disco, crazy,
people
old school hip hop.
People just start flipping out because they're hearing like "Eye of the Tiger" by Survivor at a party, they're usually not used to So
Most DJs have DJ names. Do you have any?
Yeah, mine's Mr. Paradise.
And mine's Dr. Love Star. But I mean, like the music that is spun by DJs in the rave scene, it's been big in like Europe for a long time now, and just recently in America, it's starting to become like mainstream. Like
What's the point of a DJ name?
Oh, I mean, you could have just your name, or just like an actor. A lot of the Hollywood actors don't have the real names. So I'm guessing the DJs don't like the real name, then they'll make a DJ name up.
If you're gonna be on a flyer, you want like
You want to market yourself.
You want to like a cool DJ name. Like a lot of the hip hop DJs.
How old were you when you went to your first rave?
I was 18, and I was in Orlando, Florida. My senior trip around Christmas was a New Year's party, I think, in '93. No, or not, yeah, '93. So, that's when I first saw it. So, David's older, so he's been around.
Yeah, I went to like, warehouse parties with dance music, and then like before like the rave scene really ever happened. So.
Have you been into raves ever since you first went to one?
Well, I came back probably about like 3-4 months after I went to my first one. I actually kind of got into it because there really wasn't events in St. Louis like there was like in Florida or major city. Like Orlando.
I heard about the raves in like Manchester, England, and stuff. Way back in the day before they hit America, and then like in California when they hit, and in New York when it hit. So like I'd gone to raves in Chicago and places, and then like I was actually involved in the first rave, in St. Louis. So
I'd like to ask if you would like to comment on this flyer behind us.
Okay, well,
that was a party that we did. We had an artist draw that you can't really see, but there's like turntables being spun and all the cartoon characters like dancing. It was just a flyer for one of our events.
Where'd you come up with the name Fun?
well, all the things like it seemed like the whole all the parties were getting so serious, and we always like to have an element of just completely something different. So fun just seemed good because everything was just getting so serious. The music was getting serious. Everything was just So we just wanted to throw something completely different.
I was at the rave, so I'd just like to ask you why at an indoor soccer dome?
Because they've been indoor parties at indoor soccer domes in like Chicago and other major cities, and the ceilings are really tall, so for the lights and like laser show, they're really good. And they're like there's very few places you can throw them. They're very and that's why actually one of the better places, more successful places.
Yeah, that was at a point where you could not throw them in a warehouse anymore. You had to get like a
big
indoor sporting complex or someplace that is licensed to have that amount of people, that has fire exits and all that.
I'd like to comment because I was surprised when I first walked in there because I used to play there as a kid, soccer, and I was shocked seeing a party there.
Yeah.
See, you're a really good promoter if you can pull off a party in a spot that people just can't believe you're throwing it at. I've been to parties and these like really fancy country clubs, where like there's like a really fancy barn where they have all the horses, and there's like you see these big billboards at the country club for like Mercedes and like all this other stuff, and you're just like blown away that there's a party in this.
Basically these events are thrown at like expo centers, convention centers, indoor sporting complexes, roller rinks, really anywhere.
Why did it get busted?
That party was cut off a little early. There was some sound complaints, and if you're gonna have 1,000 people at a party, there's gonna be
a lot can go wrong, and it's
a lot
all night.
can go wrong, and one particular party patron kind of freaked out at that party and was taken away on an ambulance, so they cut the party short.
Do most parties get busted?
No. I would say that's just kind of the element of the whole scene, but 1 out of 10 parties probably get shut down. That's just the element of people going to. I mean, St. Louis is like a different mentality because there's not as many, and when that happens here, then a lot of people don't go back. With Chicago, I mean, it happens like 1 out of 10 parties will get shut down because there's so much, I mean, but if
Yeah,
you're a
but-
good organized promoter, then you learn eventually, and then you make sure these things don't happen. But
I mean, even in LA, like the big New Year's party last year got shut down, and it was on like a hard copy and all these news programs because, something bad was going around, and it was just out of control. And, if a promoter has control over things like that event in Florida that we went to that had like 20,000 people, if you have 20,000 people, some people are going to pass out from dancing, or someone might get in a fight, or someone might get hurt, But if you're a promoter and you have like on the site medical attention and you cover all your bases, just because there's a few bad apples, it's not going to ruin it for everyone else. I mean, if you have your whole act together and your production together, then it's not going to get busted.
see, we probably only had 3 incidents where it's been shut down out of like the 35 events we've done.
Yeah, I mean,
So it just
we've
happens,
learned
but
as
you
we've
get
done
you're
events.
smarter when those do happen because then you make sure it never really happens again.
We've had events that are shut down early and circumstances beyond our control, but then you just learn to be in control of as much. You gotta think what can possibly go wrong, and then plan for it, and then you're fine.
Okay, before we end, would you like to say anything about parties or anything?
You go first.
Basically,
Also,
basically, I could say we've never had any incidents, where there's a big fight. Most of the time we're getting like 1,000 kids all together, all to dance and have a good time, and we have security there. We try to throw a safe event for everybody, and in all the parties that we've done with thousands of people, like nothing really bad has happened, and
a lot of good has happened.
A lot of
actually.
good has happened.
Yeah, I mean, it's like doing this scene. The most important thing, the best part about it is, it's like a central basis of like meeting open-minded people like yourself. I mean, 10 years ago when I was in high school and stuff, or like earlier in high school, I just stayed in the area I lived, and it was nothing. I mean, now you can go here and you can meet people like yourself, into the same kind of thing, and there'd be like 1,000 people, 1,500 people here, and it's like then you establish a community of friends, all from the St. Louis plus out of town. Then you start realizing every city, in the world now has a scene, like a little underground scene like this. It's really big, like in London, it's like bigger than the rock scene. But every city in the Midwest, every places in Africa now. I mean, so it's like a little scene. You go there, and then when you go out of, you can fit in real easy. You just go into another city, then you probably know someone already.
Yeah,
in every city you go to already.
The whole scene is kind of integrated. The whole Midwest scene, there's parties in Nashville, Louisville, like Memphis, Chicago, Detroit, and all the people like are all in touch with each other over the internet. There's record stores where all the DJs like buy their music. It's kind of a community. It's kind of a culture, kind of an underground subculture.
I mean, it's so nice because you go to these events and then you meet people from Chicago, Detroit. So if you want to go out of town, you always have a place to stay. People you meet there.
A lot of people throw these parties to make money. This is a big party in New York. And like they list all the different like cities. And for St. Louis, it says Superstars of Love, and we're kind of proud to like represent in a way where we feel like true to the scene, that we represent. A lot of Superstars of Love is kind of about the vibe of our events, of our experiences that we create in people's lives, and they come and they like have a good experience, a positive vibe, and like they take that with them, and they're a better person for it,
Okay, I'd like to thank you both for your time and insight. Thank you, David.
Right on, GA.
And thank you, Ryan.
Peace.
Hope that didn't get too wordy or anything.
tell her.
Yeah, all right, try to get it out of me. Pull it out.
I will. You forget that we work together. We work together, honey.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'll your thing and steal it out of your
All right.
little thief.
So you had feelings for Heather?
Yeah.
What do you
I
want
do.
to
I
say
like
to
her
Heather?
a lot.
Yeah, you can talk to Heather.
Heather.
No.
No?
No.
That's real.
You knew.
You were the first
that I
woman
loved
that I
Anna.
ever cared about in my life.
And you knew about Anna.
And you just sat here and I can't believe you're doing
Known.
I don't believe this.
Did you give her
And I
any
told
reason?
you I was going to tell her. You know? I told you.
Did you give her any reason, Heather, to believe that you liked her?
No.
You her.
No? You haven't?
Oh,
You're a
sure
little
I
Miss
have,
Virgin?
but I wasn't somebody else and somebody else and somebody else.
We'll be back with questions from the audience. Stay with us.
When you went home, are you going to let her be with your supposed best friend, or what's going to happen?
Well, you know, because this is the industry, and if that's, like, I can't stop people. You know, I really don't believe in controlling one person, you know what I mean? And if that's what she's destined to do, then there's a whole lot of me for a whole lot of women out there.
Oh, you're all too easy.
I've had enough of these ones.
Yes.
Yes, my question's for the four ladies in the back. The two on the left were betrayed by their partners. I always wonder if there's any chance for the two of them getting together at all.
I'm gonna go home and get me a man. I'm gonna get me a piece.
Suddenly, men are back in the picture. Yes.
I was just wondering why you bring your girlfriend there on the Jerry Springer show, the best show on TV. Everybody's gonna see it all around the nation. Why do you do that to this poor guy here?
Laundry.
Because he can't do anything. He can't do anything.
I can't do anything.
No,
But
nothing.
you loved
She did
him
it
at one
because
point.
she's
didn't
like, and she wanted to make him feel like. That's why
No,
she did
that's
it.
not did it.
Well,
You're a bitch.
And you stupid.
but before you said that you.
Power.
But before, in fairness, you said you really cared for him.
Well, I did.
Okay.
Like 2 minutes
Is the girl in the purple gonna get her ring back from the girl in the big hair?
Well, I don't know where
From
it
Vanity.
is. I better.
Vanity, you going to give the ring back to Jackie?
I don't know where it is.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I don't
okay.
even know.
Yeah, yes.
I wanted to know, how do you feel for she leaves you for another woman?
Here?
Yeah, here. Right there, in the end.
Me.
Oh, Mike, yeah.
I think it sucks. It really sucks. Come on. At least
Well,
it could have been a
didn't have to
man.
be that way.
Would it
It's
felt
for a
different if it was a
woman.
man? Yeah.
You always said you didn't mind.
No, I didn't mind when we weren't together, and you said when
No,
we were.
that's
No,
not
you
how it
said when
was.
we were together, it wasn't like that.
No, that's
oh, I'm not with
how
her.
it was. Why do you change the story on that?
You changed the story.
No, you are a liar.
I want to talk to
You're
you.
a
Why don't
liar.
you talk to your little bitch over there?
She's not a bitch. You're a bitch.
Okay.
You're a bitch.
Shh. Okay.
I'll talk.
My question is for Harmony. You said you were looking for a few good men. How do I sign up?
You ready?
I got a question. I got a question for Harmony. Are those real?
Are these real? Real expensive.
Hell no.
I wanted to know where everybody's
Esteem is?
well, their morals for, you know, I mean,
Them all
cheating on
lost
one
theirs.
another.
Theirs are gone.
I'm not in that category, so.
No, I mean for the cheaters, you know, I mean the ones that are cheating on.
You know, we weren't
Where's
cheating
your
because we weren't
self-
having
self-
sex. We were just living together, being miserable. So now we're separate and we're happy.
Amen.
It's always the good people that end up getting hurt in the end. Always.
Oh, right, right.
It's always that way.
You can cheat on her, but she can't cheat on you. I never. Bouncers at work, and she can't.
She's a slut. She's that.
home.
Poor.
So what am I gonna do? I can't wait for.
You're just trying to make yourself look better because you're a little bitch slut.